So, Uncle Luke, last night, Kevin Cate, very talented filmmaker, very prominent in the political comms, space, campaign ads and stuff like that. He has a very popular Twitter feed, particularly amongst Florida politicians, at Kevin Cate, C-A-T-E. And he had what do you call it? Twitter Spaces? What is this?
Yeah, Spaces.
X Spaces.
Yeah.
So he had a Spaces last night with a Florida politics talk, which featured several Florida congressmen, including one Matt Gaetz from the Panhandle, who apparently had some words to say about you. Unfortunately, it's not recorded. It's just a live one. But I understand that, he had some shit to say about you paying off UM players. I heard he had some shit to say about you not having the guts to jump on the Spaces with him, to take him on. What do you have to say to Congressman Matt Gaetz?
Hey, let me tell you something. Just like I said from the beginning, that's public enemy number one. That's the motherfucker who I'm going out there to fight. Because at the end of the day, between him and Marjorie, lady in red,
Taylor Greene,
lady in the red hat, yeah, those are the two motherfuckers who you got to go after first. But at the end of the day, I got into the space. Somebody told me about the space. I went in there. It was glitching. It kept fucking glitching. And I said, look, if I get in, the guy sent me a mic, then he took it back. I requested, then he didn't bring me up. And one guy then said, oh, no, let's not get into this. Let's move on. Let's talk about, I want to talk to Matt and all that. And then I eventually ended up jumping out. One of my good friends was still in there, Ms. Leslie. And she said, oh, yeah, they just went on to start talking more shit that you scared to come up. One thing people know about me, I ain't scared of no motherfucking body. And especially no guy, no Matt Gaetz who bought pussy. So at the end of the day, if I'd have came up on the mic, that'd have been the first thing I'd have said. Look, bro, you know what I'm saying? You talking about I paid off players, but then you bought pussy. So you might need to have a conversation with me so I can teach you not how to go and buy pussy. You feel me?
Legally.
So at the end of the day, he should have just go ahead and gave you, Billy, the whole credit, because if you looked at the documentary, there was no time that I would say that I actually paid players off.
Well, also, are we
wrong again? That's that politics shit as usual.
But aren't we we're like in a post-NIL world now? You are really a pioneer in that space, let's be real. And I think it was Republicans in the state of Florida that led the charge to create NIL laws here in the state of Florida, because, we had the NCAA dragging ass for like decades, who had the opportunity to effectuate some sort of change and reform. And they said, no, we like the old system. We're going to keep it the way it is. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, does Matt Gaetz not support NIL?
Exactly. He needs to figure out what he supports. So what happens with a lot of these guys in politics, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, but most Republicans, it's hard for them to tell the truth. It's hard for them to give prop to and give credit where credit due, because he could easily say, well, the only thing I knew about Luther Campbell, which I find it real hard to understand. If you are an elected official in the state of Florida and you don't know who the fuck I am, that's a problem. That means you lived a sheltered life. And I guess that then goes to you buying pussy. Okay, so if you listen to some of my songs, you don't know, all you had to do is just pop on a Luke song and then look at your girl, and then, okay, she'll be on that. But that's a whole other story in itself. But to not know, that your party is the one who supported NIL with your, commander-in-chief down there in Tallahassee, Commandante, he was the main one signing NIL in all these different colleges. It's amazing. They just talk just to be talking. And a guy like Matt, listen, he's the guy, he and Marjorie and the whole Trump and this whole soft-ass Democratic Party team is the one that's motivating me to go and run, and God willing, I win. They're gonna have hell to deal with in Washington.
Luke, what do you mean soft? What do you mean
circle?
What do you mean soft ass Democratic team? What does that mean?
I mean, the Democratic Party is old, and we're a little soft. We let these. I mean, you go from the Tea Party spitting on congressmen and senators and shit. Then you go Trump's on steroids. after Trump on steroids, and they talking to the party in all these different types of ways. Now you have, they've came up with, they go from CRT to banning books to all these attacks against African Americans and democratic values. When I look at that, and I'm saying to myself, we need somebody to fight. I mean, we got Miss Crockett, Congresswoman Crockett, she's fighting. It seems like she's out there fighting by herself. So, at the end of the day, you have all these policies against African Americans. You don't have too much money going back into the African American community, whether it's Ron DeSantis taking it and holding it in Tallahassee and the money not being trickled down. You don't have enough. You got a bunch of old ass congressmen and women. I think they need to create terms where some of these people need to turn them out. They don't have no more fight in them. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, you need fresh blood in there, not necessarily in a young person, but fresh blood of people like, myself, people like you that go up in there, people who are on the ground floor that understands what the people need, because this shit is about the people. It ain't about, lining your pockets. You got some congresswomen that went in as fucking waitresses and bartenders, and now they worth $28 and $30 million. I mean, that ain't, and then they all of a sudden they came in guns a-blazing, but then they got a muzzle on them right now. So, it just needs to be people who go in and represent the actual people and bring shit back, man. I go to Boyd Anderson. I rode through there and I'm looking at the high school. I love Boyd Anderson, great history. And you looking at the high school and you seeing that this shit is depleted. It's like a third world country school where you need federal dollars to be put in there. You need representatives to be able to go and say, hey, look, man, we need to change this. Those kids ain't got a fucking chance. So everybody think, oh, all right, we want to stop the gun violence in the Black community and people killing each other. But then when you look at the politicians, a lot of these politicians ain't doing the work to then be able to educate these kids and bring good paying jobs, and not this fucking $13 an hour shit. I mean, think about it. I mean, we have a government that the minimum wage in the United States of America is $7 to $8. But thank God, state of Florida is $12 to $13. You got people in Belgrade. Why the fuck does Belgrade look the same? Why haven't nobody been creative to create housing and create different opportunities for these people? So it's a lot of work to be done.
Uncle Luke, it sounds to me like you just talked yourself into running right here on the show. I mean, we got April. I think the deadline is at the end of this month to file to run in the Democratic primary, which I believe is in August of this year. And we are on our way to Representative Uncle Luke, Congressman Uncle Luke, or is it Uncle Congressman Luke? Whatever it is, I'm looking forward to it. And I have to extend an invitation to Congressman Matt Gaetz to join us anytime on the Because Miami podcast if he'd like an opportunity to respond.
Gracias, Matt Gaetz.
Or debate.
Bring his soft ass on here.
Or debate?
Before I announce, bring his soft ass on here.
Freak
motherfuckers who don't know who I am, if you only know me for allegedly paying off players, then I need to give him a good education. We need to play some songs for him.
Well, he doesn't know his history because they're trying to eliminate it.
Me so horny. We need to well, Matt Gaetz, he should already know that there's a song exists called Me So Horny, and because again,
Matt Gaetz knows exactly who you are, Uncle Luke. There's no zero doubt in my mind. Freaknik, The Wildest Party Never Told, co-starring and executive produced by Luther Campbell, is now streaming on the Hulu machine. I just started it. It's so good. I'm loving it. And thank you, Uncle Luke, as always, for being here. And I look forward to wearing the shirt. I look forward to wearing the shirt.
I love the shirt, baby.
Uncle Luke for Congress.
This one. Luke for then it'll be Luke for Congress. So they're gonna have to get you. Oh, look at that, Luke for mayor. You boy, you looking good, Billy. You looking fucking good.
It's all about the Luke. That is Congressman Luther Campbell. Thank you so much for being here on Because Miami.
Thank you guys.
Vote for Luke. Cocaine's.